A regular session of the City Trinidad Tourism Board. I'd like to call to order Wednesday, January the 12th at 9:04. Marty, you want to call? Roll.
Campbell?
Here.
Kress?
Here.
Miller?
Here.
Michaels?
Here.
Richardson?
Petitions or communications, oral or written?
Nobody has signed up, so we have none.
Approval of minutes from December the 8th, 2021.
I make a motion to approve the minutes if everybody to read them.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Approval of invoices. Did everyone have a chance to look at the invoices that we have up today?
Yeah, I make the motion we pay our bills.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, we'd like to welcome Dawn Richardson to the board, but
You can
She's
move
not
that.
here.
she's working her way here maybe.
She said she thought it was at 10 o'clock.
Well,
So we'll move on to Art Cartopia, Amanda and Rodney.
Yo.
Hey!
So we just invited you here so that we can thank you and welcome you. So if you would come up, just so we can.
I didn't know we had to sing.
You have to get eyes on us.
Sing.
No, just wondering if there's like, for me, just wondering like what, if there's anything changing, if there's any new.
I can guarantee that there's probably not much changing in the first year. So, I mean, these guys built a very incredible thing, so there's not much needs to be done.
And I-
Unless you didn't get the news flash that they're closing on Monday, no, January, February, March. The museum's closed, they're painting, they're cleaning, they're restructuring.
Exciting, what are you doing? Painting and cleaning and stuff?
Rearranging, yeah.
painted and cleaning.
What kind of, is it gonna be like, wow, like something?
I hope so.
Red,
You know, when you
Purple
first
and
walk
orange.
in, you know, it's kind of a jumble. We're
Uh-huh.
working on that. Yeah.
And the floor needs to be repainted after years of batteries and oil, and stuff leaking. There's like a whole room that's just floor to ceiling of toys and beads and
Just a general cleanup.
Yeah.
I read one of the articles that had come out, and I appreciate you mentioning that it had started with the Tourism Board division for Art Cartopia.
Yep.
And I appreciate you mentioning the Tourism Board on that. I really do. Thank you.
that's why we exist.
Mhm.
It's your damn fault.
Yeah. And we would like to start a lot more like that. Is what we would like to do.
Good, good. Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you.
And the only other hopeful is get back to having events.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're still in that same weird, kind of, sort of, they can have educational programs, but, you know, what are we up to, our fourth shot at Arcade Bowl?
Yeah.
It's, I know, I just saw the schools,
Yeah.
Monday and Wednesday, 8 a.m. and N to Z, and Tuesday and Thursday. I was like, whoa, there was a difference.
Yeah.
And since Arcade Bowl was the biggest single
Yeah.
fundraiser
Yeah.
and fundraiser,
Yeah.
took all the fun out of it, but I'm out of here.
And when are you leaving? When are you moving?
Sometime in early March. We thought it
Just
was-
right around the corner then, basically, right? Yeah.
Have you sold your establishment yet?
No, there's a contract that's in process, we'll see.
If it's a tourism-related industry, it'd be really cool if you let us know, in case
I
somebody
don't even
bought
know
it.
what they got in mind,
Okay.
so who knows?
Okay. Good
And
luck.
Topless bingo.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, they'll have to go
Can I
through
say
city
it out
council.
loud?
Where's that gonna be?
One of the hours. They have special all year pass too. for those who really-
We'll talk later.
And thank you for taking your vision and bringing it towards that today.
It's been a wild and crazy ride.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been wild and very right. Thank you.
Thanks for
Goodbye,
inviting us.
Amanda. Goodbye, Rodney.
But
Wishing you all well.
Main Street Board update, Penny?
Hello, everyone. So, hi. So, thank you for telling us we could have $5,000 for our banner project. But we were having some trouble. I'm sure it's because of COVID and all of the, staff shortages. But we had some benches that we needed to get out, and we had them done in May. We didn't get them out till October, and our board made a decision that we're not going to move forward until we get one project done. So now we're kind of starting over. We kind of revamped the banner project. We already have the brackets ordered and they're ready to go. But we're going to get one artist to make all the designs, so that way they're uniform. And so far we have 16 different designs. So I passed those out to you. If we missed anything, if you guys can think of anything else, then let us know. Because we have a lot of poles in town, but I think we have 150 poles and we were gonna do 80.
Wow, that's a lot of polls.
That's a lot of bull.
And then I know at one point the Main Street Board to stay avid needed like a secretary or somebody to be the board. Did you guys ever attain that?
No, but we're working on it.
Okay.
Yep. We have DOLA coming down to the next city council meeting, and we have approached city council, and they're aware that we need some help.
So
The one I'd like to see on there it would be Monument Lake
Oh,
and maybe North Lake, if that could be possible.
okay.
I'm looking at that. I know I've seen it and looked at it.
Penny, I think just because I know it, I was on the Main Street Board years ago, and I haven't been on it for years, but I think it's really important that the board understand the Main Street Board and how it's set up as sort of a national board. It's not a local board, although people think it's a local board. And the structure of us attaining the credentials that the city has attained and how we get extra grants as we move up through the ladder. And some people think at times it's just a local board, and it's not. It is a nationally recognized board.
Right, and we get a lot of funding from the state, but they're all grants, and I'm a volunteer
So
board
one of
member.
the, I think one of the struggles that I know with the Main Street Board is they were supposed to be by law issued to order to continue that accreditation, to have somebody do the work for them. And they
Because it's a
have
lot.
never had that
Yeah,
monies approved.
every week I get a list of like, oh, you could get these grants, you can get these grants, but I have my own business, so I can't. So anyway, I told city council, I said, I'm a failure because I can't get all this stuff done. So we're working on it. The city's aware now, and hopefully, but anyway, back to the banners. So we got money from the city for the banners, which we didn't use yet, but it's sitting there. And we just wanted to know if we can still have the money that you guys were planning to give us, or?
I think it was still saved in the end of the year, is that right, Marty?
Yeah, so the way it was written when it was granted, Penny, is when you receive your invoices, your paid invoices, you submit them to me and I'll take them in, or you can submit them to Anita or Flora. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they know there's a PO that's been created already, so
So-
the money is there.
So up to the 5,000. So
Yeah.
spend it all.
Okay. Yeah. We will not have a problem with that.
Never.
You can go on and on.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Boom,
gotcha.
So, but I think,
The one thing I really would like done is that little
to represent Highway 12.
visitors, little box.
Oh my
on the
gosh,
park.
that's on our list.
Because it is in so bad
Yes.
shape.
Yes.
I
don't even want to put anything in it, so.
I don't either. I don't even, I go over there and try to throw things away.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
Take a shot.
I don't know who you are looking at to do the plexiglass or glass, but when we first talked, I had talked to Lucky down there with the glass because he could cut glass really easy, and he was gonna go measure it for me.
Oh,
And then we quit communications, but he does have plexiglass and glass, and I'm sure there's that other place there in town could do it too.
I'll just give you a little update on that.
Okay.
So, the side of the kiosk that's facing Main Street,
Uh-huh,
we're working with Sky to see if we can put an electronic sign there.
okay,
So it would have like events and things
Yeah.
and ways to scan the QR
yeah, that would
codes
be
and
nice, right?
just on that side,
Yeah.
and then we can still put flyers around.
Around on the backside, yeah,
Yeah.
because people still, believe it or not, from my location, people still stop there and look at it, and I'm just, I
It's like, oh my gosh, yeah.
do like that. And even
Yeah.
if we do, depending on when that happens, if we could get temporary plexiglass in those glasses, that would be,
Yes.
that, we don't have to get solid glass, plexiglass, and just get it temporary put in there,
Yeah.
just to clean it up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Maybe repaint it too.
And not even repainting right now, just get that plexiglass so we could put them posters in there without them blowing away or
Right.
just because,
Okay.
you know, I understand it would be, the light it would be wonderful, but temporary, maybe get some plexiglass
Yep.
put in there because it does, if we go through another summer with that,
So that's nice that Sky's working on that with the
Yes.
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a projected date?
No, we're just getting bids right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
There must be electricity that goes there or close to it.
There's close, yeah,
Yeah.
close enough.
Yeah, well, that would be
Yeah.
nice.
So Penny, what was your projected date for the banners completion?
Probably like a couple months. So we'll get them up,
Say
Spring?
April or something?
yeah.
Spring.
What are we,
And,
January?
and what are the
Yeah.
sizes?
January.
Let's say, the sizes, oh my gosh. Shoot. I had
do
all
like
that
the
in my other
brown.
notes. Does it say
Mhm.
here?
doesn't say on here, but if it was the same as before.
There it is.
Are they
They're
gonna be
like
the
30.
size, are they gonna be the size that they were, the
Yes.
banners that were on
Yeah.
there?
Okay.
Okay.
24 by 36, I think is.
Oh, wow. Those are nice sized banners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want a teeny weeny banner.
Yeah.
Some of our Christmas decorations,
Uh-huh.
they looked really cool in the catalog, and then they came in and were this big. It's like, oh, you can barely see that.
They're like Tiny Town.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, one of the questions I have on banners such as that is, you know, they go up and
Mhm.
they have a life expectancy.
Yes.
Do you know what that life expectancy?
years.
2 years?
Yes.
Okay, so you'd be looking at.
If we leave them up all the time. But we would also like to change them out for like next Christmas,
Yep,
seasonally.
there you go.
So
That would save, that would
then
extend
it
the life
prolongs
of the-
it to maybe 5 years.
That would extend the
If we-
life of
yeah.
them, yes.
Yeah,
So you could look, you know, this expenditure, probably every 5 years,
Yeah.
you're gonna be looking at
yeah,
changing them up.
yeah. And some of them might last longer depending where they are. And
How much
so we
sun
don't have-
exposure
yeah,
they get?
Yeah, we don't have to change them, maybe
Yeah.
all of them.
Right.
But we don't want them to look tired.
Yeah. Well,
If
that's
they
the
look
thing.
tired, we gotta take them down and put new ones. Anything else?
Would they be in charge of that, Phil, or is it the city that?
At that point, they would probably stay in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, as long as we can get somebody to take them up and down.
And just to educate the board, what are some of the other projects that Main Street has done for Trinidad in the last like 3, 4, 5 years?
Well, we started the planter project. So then that was such a success, then the city took it over and now it's way better. I mean, it's so awesome. Then we had the piano project. We have the, we have artists paint murals, which now with mural, we have mural ordinance, so we can't get those out where we wanted them, but
Is the benches around town yours?
the benches are, yes, yes. And I think the bench project was better than the mural project because everybody can use them.
Are we picking them up during the winter, or you just leaving them there?
We're leaving them there. They're pretty sturdy, and the artist painted them, and then we sealed them. So they should be okay for,
Okay, yeah.
3-4 years.
Are the bike racks around town Main Streets or are they somebody else's?
They're main streets.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, I.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think
I
of.
can't remember
And so
everything.
do you have any projects in the future that we should know about besides these banners that'll really liven up the city?
Well, we're thinking about banners and the kiosk, and we're thinking about putting another kiosk over on Commercial.
Uh-huh.
And if we can have a electronic side to it, then that way people will know where to go. Like, oh, I see the sign for the wormhole. Where is that? And then they go to the QR and it tells them exactly how to get there.
Yeah.
So, and we were working on a wayfinding project, but that one got put on hold. So,
Yeah, we do need a lot of help with our signage, huh?
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna be pretty important, because the Fisher's Peak project, right now, they're in process of finalizing their master plan.
yes.
And it's supposed to be done sometime in March. And then,
Wow.
then the leadership group will approve it, and then a lot of this stuff, the 20 miles of trails is gonna be put out to bid immediately.
Yes.
So probably by midsummer, fall, sometime there'll be probably some additional trails. The trail to the peak is not expected to be done for 2 years, because it's gonna take some time.
Right.
So these banners will be pretty important at that time when people come into town.
Yeah. Well, and also we thought, you know, we could make a website for each thing. We can have T-shirts, postcards, table tents. So, but if they have the same scheme on them, you know, then that way
Logo, so
people,
that
yeah,
we're
yeah,
all logoed in the right
Yeah.
way, yes.
Yeah.
It's important to brand our town right.
Yeah.
But- Okay,
okay.
all right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Well, we'll be excited to see those up this summer.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, flowers and banners.
Old business.
Well, we gotta go to the new business, because she did show up. Yeah, hello.
She snuck in.
She snuck in.
I apologize.
That's right.
I had a
You know,
long time in my
we're very
career.
relaxed around here.
So we're gonna go to new business?
Well,
we're gonna
let's go back to welcoming.
Let's go back.
Oh, okay.
Now, gee, hello, Dutchwood.
So Dawn, at your place, I put a complete packet of tourism information for you that you can take and you can review it, but it has past accomplishments of the board, it has financials, it has policies and procedures that you can look at, various items in that packet, so you can review that at your own convenience.
Okay,
But
thank
if
you.
you have any questions,
Yeah.
feel free to ask any of the board members or call me at the Welcome Center, wherever you need it, anytime.
Yeah, I realize I don't have the institutional knowledge that you clearly all have, being new both to town and also on the board, so I have a lot of questions.
That's fine.
Just to kind of know what has happened and what's going on and what's in the pipeline and, you know, what all you've done over the years and, you know, things like that. So it's a learning curve for sure.
I just want to say I'm glad I'm not the newbie anymore. And I still have questions, so, yeah.
You know, one of the things to do, that I recommend that to any new member that you guys might get, is that it's like when we get a new city council person. I know, Tom, what I usually do is I will sit down with a new council person, spend an hour or two with them, and they can do that even with you, to go through like what you're looking for, is to try to find out what the past has been like and kind of bring you up to date.
Yeah.
So that might be something that you guys may want to consider doing.
I have a binder of minutes
Mhm.
that you can review, and, you know, we can go over that, agendas, any of that stuff. I have a complete binder at
Or
your
any-
disposal, so.
Any general questions that you have,
Yeah.
you know.
And in your interview, you talked about your connection with the Colorado Tourism Office, which I think is really exciting for us.
Mhm. Yeah, I wrote a grant for the Distillers Guild for 2 years in a row, and I sat on their Destination Development Committee for a number of years. So I'm pretty connected there, and they asked me to sit on panels and to do various things for as a woman in beverage or in the distilling world. So I do know the people at the tourism board, although they changed. Kathy Ritter left, and so I think there's some change up, but I think some of the same people are still there. Yeah.
Okay, welcome.
Thank you.
While we're on that, next week, they're the Action 22 group, and this is for your group if you want us to check into anything on the tourism side. Mike and I and Aaron Ogletree are going up to Denver. If there is anything in particular that you guys want us to, or someone in particular to talk to, let me know right away so that I can have Debbie Wagner set that meeting up for us. So you let me know by Friday if you could.
You know, one thing, Mayor, thanks for asking that question and letting us know. You know, one thing is that I think that at the state level, there may be some more grant money for tourism or for small towns for specific little odd and end reasons. And if so, instead of searching for those grants, if there was any way that we could be advised by Debbie Wagner of any tourism-related advertising and marketing or new events or anything, sort of that kind of stuff. I don't know if we...
I don't know if that would be in her wheelhouse, really. It would be, because she's more on the legislative side of things for us. Monies like that would probably be done through any legislation, and then we would probably not hear about that until the legislative session is halfway through or finished.
So, side to that point, in the emails that I send you, there's an email that I send regularly. It's called Tourism Tuesday,
Yeah.
and it has all the opportunities for grants that are related to tourism.
No, I totally get that, Marty, but I don't sometimes have time to go through all those links personally myself, and so I just like, if somebody else has something for us, you or somebody else there that can say, hey, Trinidad, you qualify for that.
Okay,
You know who that,
I can do
you
that.
know who would probably help, because I believe that, I'm not sure if she's come back, but we may have our grant writer back.
Oh, that would be
Talitha.
fantastic.
Talitha might be coming back, I'm not sure yet.
She is back and she's working from home.
So she would be the person.
Yeah, that
maybe
Marty
can
could send that to, that'd be
look
fantastic.
into some of this stuff for you guys.
Yeah, right. That would be good, yeah.
Who on the committee is the liaison with the state on the Board of Tourism? Because like when I sat on the Destination Development Committee, there were people from individual industries, but there were also lots of people from municipalities. And then they would tell you what was happening in tourism through the state, what opportunities there
That's
were,
great.
what grants they were, and it was a great way to be really proactive. Is there somebody?
I have the connection with the state as the Colorado Welcome Center director. They send me all state-related tourism
But
information.
do you go to those meetings?
Mhm.
Okay. 'Cause they're pretty informative.
Yeah, there's a lot of information there, and so I pass that on to the tourism board members on a regular monthly basis.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, but you skipped old business. You went right into new.
No, I went to old business.
Oh, sorry. Okay, check that one off.
Old business, van purchase. I sent everybody, I think, did you get it also, Dawn?
I did,
Email yesterday for the van. Mike Valentine gave me the procedure that we're supposed to follow. And then I sent a picture of one of the vans there.
Yeah, I saw it.
Hey, Tom, did you talk to Mike about that? Because I forget what the name of that, where the municipalities, there is, a lot of times, that's where we buy most of our vehicles from, and it saves a lot of money. Did you talk to him about that?
I hadn't talked to him
Yeah,
about
talk
that
about
yet.
that, because
Okay.
there might be some vans and other vehicles that may be
Yeah.
available.
It took him a while to get all that stuff for me to send that to me, and in that time, I think, when I did call to talk to Mike, he was out, because his wife was sick.
And just ask him the name of the organization that we submit any vehicles through.
That's wonderful. So
I don't see it in my email. Tom, can you send it to me?
Yeah, I thought I
he
did, Marty.
I think he did it in text. He didn't
Oh,
do it
is
in
it,
email.
is it a text message?
Is it
Well,
text
that's
message?
an
Oh, no, wait a
email.
minute.
No, that's an email.
I sent it to him. I didn't get, you didn't.
I don't have
Yeah, that's an email. Yeah, I'm just looking at it now.
And I'm not sure, Tom, but I think that by going through this, I'm not sure if we, because I know typically we don't, I don't know if they have to really go out for bid in that particular case. Because usually it's a pretty done deal by, but anyway, talk to Mike a little more.
Okay, I will. I'll get. He had sent me that for us to follow that. And it's funny how he didn't mention that in that packet of that, just the procedure that we're supposed to follow about getting the 3 bids
Okay.
for the city process.
Okay.
So, but I will ask him about and you say it's a pool.
Yeah, it's some kind of a pool that they offer to municipalities.
Okay,
We
all
end up
right,
saving quite a bit of money.
all right. I'll stop in and see him today. And see
And
if,
it's, isn't it basically to keep you from having to rebid every time you get a new vehicle?
And I
Not
really like
necessarily.
what you found, Tom.
Yeah.
I want to say that too. I really liked what Tom found. I thought that was a great size van. It could be locally, sometimes like with our trolley, it has to go to town for service. It could be serviced locally. It's great size. It has just enough side on the side so that we can do, you know, some sort of graphics. I thought it was really a good piece that he found.
all right.
Marty, I just sent it to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So that being said then, Tom, do you need to take any action on this? What does the board?
Well, let me talk to
need
Mike.
Vote on anything?
I'll talk to Mike and see if we can go that route. If not, we'll just stick with the route that we're on. Is that all right, Phil?
Sure.
Okay. I'll stop in and see him today.
So do you want that placed on the next agenda then, Tom?
Yes, place it on the next agenda. Thank you.
Probably what you should do is, if it's an action item today, you probably should table that.
Okay.
It's not, it was just a discussion.
Resident sentiment survey results?
So in your packet, you'll find the resident sentiment survey results. So some of the questions that were asked, I don't know if any of you actually took the survey. Did anybody take the survey? No one?
I did.
Good. So those are the questions that were asked. General questions, age, residence, how long have you lived in the city, et cetera. Your level of agreement with the following statements regarding the tourism industry. So the questions included, I think tourism is good for Trinidad, Los Animas County. Strongly agree was the overall sentiment. The positive impacts of tourism outweigh the negative. Overall, strongly agree. So you'll see as you go down the strongly agree column that most of the individuals that completed this survey are in favor of tourism in our local community. Going back to how long have you been a resident of the city or town, most everybody that answered that has been in the city for more than 20 years. So you can see from that number that everybody that received this survey or took this survey is actually involved in the city and the community in some way, shape, or form. Tourism is important to the local economy, strongly agree. My community has become too dependent on tourism. Either they didn't agree or they didn't disagree or they strongly disagreed. So the overall sentiment of the local community was that tourism was doing a good job for the community. They didn't feel like they needed to be more informed. They're happy with the tourism industry in our community. And you can go through each of the individual questions as they're written on page 7.
Marty, does it show how many people took the survey?
There were 163 individuals on the first page. It says answered and
I see it.
skipped. It says 163. 163 individuals took this survey.
How many were distributed?
It was
That's a good question.
distributed to probably about 150 people. But it was also open to the community to answer. So it was available on the website, it was available on the Facebook pages, it was available mostly on social media, as well as sent out by email to local contacts. On page 13, there's the other answers to those. Tourism creates parking traffic problems. 63 agreed with that. So that might be an area that we need to look at. Having events and stuff in the downtown area, maybe identifying another venue or street area that we could hold events instead of on the main street. and commercial street areas.
Or still,
I don't think that had anything to do with
Yeah.
that kind of question.
Well, the one thing I don't think we do a very good job of, and there's a lot of parking spaces, is the wonderful area that CDOT did under the bridge that spans from Nevada Street to Commercial Street. There's 100 spaces there, and then across the street from there where the laundromat is, there's another 50, 60 parking spaces. So I was even thinking when we have events, if we could have people park there, and you think about the trolley picking up somebody there, going up Fast Food Alley, going in front of City Hall, going down Main Street, coming back Commercial, and dropping them back off at those parking lots. That could be a big circle. If
And
it's,
usually with the event planners that I have spoken to, major event planners like the Rad Fest, use that parking area. The Comedy Fest, Wally identifies that parking area. The Entertainment District, when we've had Entertainment District meetings, they've identified that parking area. So
I just think, the residents that took this survey feel that tourism are parking downtown and going to eat in the restaurants, going shopping. And I don't think that had anything to do with major events, because if the residents know that they're coming up, and I think we have, even just with downtown parking, as far as my street goes right there, I get nailed by both Moose's and the Smokehouse as far as people parking, and a lot of them are out-of-town people. But that's just the way it goes. I mean, the parking lot is empty across the street.
did you try to park in Manitou Springs anytime lately?
Yeah, and they just don't want to walk. We got
that's
that
a lot.
scenario. No one wants to walk anywhere. I have people parking in front of the street. Many people that go to the state to exercise, and there's a parking lot right in the back, and they still use right in front of my street. So, and there's nothing we can do about it. So I just think that is an overall question that people get angry because they can't park right in front of my stop. And I've had many people come in and I said, I finally found a parking place in your right in front, and I'll stop now. And I just...
Mayor, would that help any by what Camilla is saying if we did something similar to what Manitou does do, which they have the boxes, at the end of the street corners, and you have to type in your license plate number and run your credit card for so much, and it encourages people to park on the block over, and only those that really want to spend the extra money to park in front? I don't know. So it doesn't junk up a street with a whole bunch of,
That is something that we've been talking about, whether to put like parking meters downtown, parking spaces, how it's going to impact the community, what will tourism think. These are things that we are taking into consideration, and of course, with this new grant that we have, talking about, all of our traffic patterns, traffic study. A lot of that stuff may come out in that traffic study as to what we.
And it may discourage a lot of the people who have businesses from parking.
True.
And having that for.
See, and that's one of the things that has already been looked at, is that a lot of complaint has been, well, there's no parking. Well, part of the problem is that some of the business people are parking in front of their businesses, and how to get them to quit doing that is going to be the factor.
Well, I think in Manitou Springs, as an example, that helped with some of that. They parked on the second street then, because in front of their thing, they would have to pay for all day instead of,
Does the city have any plans for additional parking in the Trinidad?
That is
area?
going to come out in probably this traffic study. We're looking at, there are some option places that we probably have. Of course, we do have, like you guys are saying, there are places to park. So one of the places that we were thinking about is, a couple of years ago, we got that property, which is the old dairy up on 2nd Street, right behind 1st Street there. That's one place. The other possibility is this property over here behind JR's on this side. So those are two places that could be additional parking. Then it's going to have, people are going to have to walk. And that's one thing that we in this country, the entire country, we're in love with our vehicles and we don't want to walk. So that's the problem that I think that there's got to be a different mentality change.
There's no signage to tell you where you can park that's public parking, no. Like on those lots that are underneath the viaduct, I don't think there's like big P, like public parking signs. Yeah, that tell people that that's where they could park, and I think there's some lots behind, what's the next street up from Main Street? First Street. And I don't know if they're public or if they're private or what, right? I park there if I'm going to the building that's in front of them, but, you know, I think some signs to tell you where you can park would be really beneficial.
Yesterday, I had 5 cars parked in front of me and Stay Fit, me and take the whole block. And in they walk, no offense to anybody, but in they walk with the smokehouse with cake and everything else, and you know they're gonna be there the rest of the day. Because it's just, that is where, and they parked. That's just a fact that we deal with, and there's a whole parking lot right behind us.
And I think
One
that's
of the
where the
parking
fact,
lots.
and that's where the thought of maybe parking meters might come into
Yeah.
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
One of the parking lots I think is being utilized really good is the commercial one. That parking lot is always full.
One thing that may help, and this is something that came up in that parking meter discussion, is there is a company that I guess what they do is they actually hire somebody instead of us policing it, that they actually will come out and they take care of the policing. And what they do is they are paid by the parking meter funding that comes from it.
I think that's the way Manitou does it, because they just installed boxes at the ends of the corners, and it has somebody's name on it, you know, like Rick Sell, with making sure your parking is, you know, something on it. But yeah.
One of the parking lots I park at to go to one of the hospitals in Denver is 30-minute parking. You pay 75 cents for 30 minutes. So that limits your time, or you have to come back out and put 75 cents more in it. You know, so the time limit is a good thing too.
Sure.
So,
There's a balance between paid parking and also access to commerce, though. Like in Boulder, they have a lot of parking garages that you pay for during the week, but on weekends they keep them free so that people are encouraged to go down and park. So, you know, I think
That's a good idea, yeah. So if you have a slow day of the week downtown, Tuesdays, then Tuesdays is the day for free parking, so more people come down on Tuesdays.
It's a very hard balance where I'm at. It is a
But
very
then you
hard
think of
balance.
think of the spin-off as being, you know, some of the decision makers in Trinidad, Mayor, then if people are forced to park a block away behind before they go to the store, then they get healthier.
Yeah.
Then the county has a better, healthier thing, and then you feel good about it.
But walkability is the main reason people move to a community. It's one of the main reasons people buy houses, if their house is walkable to other places.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that they're doing some of that in that transportation study, right, the walkability survey. You know, I think it's okay to encourage people to walk a block or two.
maybe we should have a sign under the viaduct, take a trolley ride to Welcome Center, you know, advertising the trolley. You can park your car under there and catch the trolley in the summertime.
And go around in that whole circle, you know, it's an easy circle.
Back to the survey real quick, some of the other questions real quick were, there's more recreational opportunities to go to and things to do because of tourism. 57% strongly agreed. The quality of public services has improved due to the tourism industry. 46% disagreed. Attractions and leisure facilities are becoming overcrowded because of more tourists. 54% disagreed. So all in all, the questions that were asked should give you a good view of how the community feels about the tourism industry. Some negativity, but things that you needed to ask. Tourism increases wildfire danger. 46% agree. Tourism can help the environment. People seek to protect sensitive and scenic areas. 69% agree. The tourism industry values sustainability in the state's natural resources. 56 agree. Overcrowding by tourists is spoiling our natural areas. 44% agree. The tourism industry is doing a good job at educating visitors. 59% neither agree nor disagree. I would like to see more reservation systems become available for outdoor experiences. 44% neither agree nor disagree. And lastly, wayfinding and signage for visitors is adequate. 47% disagree. So clearly we need some more signage and stuff. So a real good feedback, I think, for us to look at and use as benchmarks. for what, some of the items that you probably need to address in the future.
Maybe you could pass this on to city council, Phil?
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay, we'll do that.
Certified folder, brochures in airports?
This came about with questions with suggestions from Cy about placing our brochures in the airports. And so I contacted Certified Folder. He gave us rates and locations, and you can decide whether or not you want to move forward with that based on that information.
And Marty, with that certified folder guy, so did he say like not only in like, so they put them in airports, they also put them in whatever hotel chains still allow it, or in gas stations?
Yes, so that original package that I gave you has every location in every region that you
Okay.
will find those
Okay.
display racks. So is this something you want to place on the next agenda to take action on?
Now,
Based
Marty,
on
does
these rates?
does this mean that we'll have to up the publication of the guide?
Probably, you mean a reprint?
Right.
Probably.
Or a
If you're gonna
different
get new
sort of
areas.
print, like maybe a single one piece.
One piece.
Or something like that.
Most of them are like this.
Yeah, most of them are like
Either a
that.
trifold
Yeah.
or.
Right,
or
so our
just
visitor
one
guides
size
are a
piece.
booklet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
And there-
recommend.
and there
You
is-
don't find booklets in
Yeah.
those
Just-
certified
just
folder
like that.
displays. You
Yeah.
find brochures like a trifold or a rack card.
Or even just a
Um,
single card.
I-
you see.
Yeah.
I've done
Correct.
a lot of business with Certified
Yeah.
and extremely satisfied with the circulation and the timing and what they've done. And that was one of our best pieces on
To
the
get
road
information on.
because this gets you prepared for where you're going.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're in
Yeah.
Albuquerque or you're in Lubbock or Amarillo or someplace and, we're going to Colorado, hey, that's, you know,
Yeah, and I would think for Trinidad, what is good is like, I'm going here, you know how people always say, I've been through that area before. Instead, it's like, whoa, I'm going through that area, that's Trinidad, it has highlights, you know.
yeah, there's so many reasons why
Yeah.
somebody would pick up. You know, so-
That is an action item, so do you want to approve it, deny it, or table it, or put it on the next agenda for future
Well,
discussion?
are we ready for a piece to go in there? So, I
No,
mean,
we do not.
what do we
have
need to
nothing.
do to get started on that?
Well, I would table it and then probably discuss the design of a rack card or trifold or bifold.
So we'll move it to a work session.
Okay. So can I have a motion to table?
I'll make a motion to table it.
I second
All in favor?
Aye.
New business, New Legends magazine, financial assistance request.
Actually, last meeting, Mr. Wharton had presented a request for financial assistance to extend his distribution of the New Legends magazine. In your package, you'll find a flyer that explains that. For 10,000 magazines to be distributed in the Texas, Oklahoma, Southwest Kansas area is $5,000 per quarter, or $20,000 per year for 10,000, and you'll see the various amounts and increase in quantity.
If I can comment on, it's a nice piece. I mean, it looks good. That's very expensive. And we can, if we do this with the certified, we're
We'll get-
basically doing the same thing, just not as much detail.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree with you, but
And we're getting more bang for the buck.
the kind of weird place I get though is that it's a privately owned thing to support that is a profitable company.
yeah.
it.
So I would really think that we as the tourism board would put really a beautiful ad in there to help support that magazine.
I agree. And because that's where he should,
If it was a non-for-profit or something, it would be
$500
different
Yeah.
even, but a for-profit magazine is.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is a travel rag, tourism rag, but it is,
And he does a great job.
And we just don't do printing, and that's what he initially wanted, was the printing of
yeah.
it.
for profit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where I get hung up, because he does work really hard for the community. He does a great job with his magazine. And just like we would support an event or put a banner over a road for an event, I think we should put a banner ad or a great ad inside showing him our support.
Right. Yeah, I agree, because I think it's a whole lot better spent on something that is specifically ours.
Ours,
And
yes.
it
Yeah.
isn't, because some people are still turned off, especially in Texas, the weed ads. And, you know, and he has a lot of the
A lot of
dispensary
that,
ads in there.
and that's where he
uh,
makes his money off, that, and that's fine, you know. yeah.
And I think we've had a couple of other organizations come for us to want to
Print
do the
and-
same thing, so, and they're private, so I think we
Yeah.
need
I
to
agree.
stick along those lines.
Yeah. So now,
I think we
If I can.
much better spend our money on an hour per hour piece
Right.
instead of,
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah.
Can we get a motion to,
I make a motion that we do an ad in his magazine and up to,
I don't even mind an ad. I think a page is like $2,000 or something. And we could get a really beautiful, you know, depending on what you guys all wanted. If you wanted to do like outdoor recreation and architecture or what, or you know, whatever you wanted, I think it would be.
I would like to ask him what his full page.
I think it's around 2,000.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I put a half a page ad in there, and I think it was around 800. So.
I'll need
Even
to
if
take
we
action
did-
on his request first, so I'll need a
Okay.
motion to approve, deny, or table the financial
Deny.
assistance.
Deny.
I deny, I make a motion to deny.
Do you have a second?
second?
All in favor of denying the financial assistance request?
Aye.
and then, you know,
And
and
then I-
then place an ad not to exceed $2,000 if it's a half or a full.
So I can put that on the next work session agenda, and you can look at the prices and then
Okay.
Okay.
yes, do another,
Thank
However you
you.
want to do it, Miss Marty.
just following protocol.
Thanks, Marty.
USA Today, Hunt and Fish renewal. We had tabled that, we're bringing it back.
I think we, in the fall and in the spring and even some in the summer, but you know, as a hotel, and we're supposed to make sure that we bring people in town for overnight stays. You know, I'm not a hunter myself, but we do see an awful lot of hunting groups and fishing groups, and there's a lot of guidesmen and trappers and stuff that come in and make reservations and really bring those people into town. And I know a lot of times they come into town and go to Moose's and Smokehouse. It seems to be a favorite one of them, and I encourage that, you know, behavior, because that's on our soft shoulders myself.
And this magazine comes out when?
The
deadline is May, so-
May, so I think it comes out in the just prior to hunting season's beginning,
Yeah,
so
September or
probably in August, July and August.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so I'm gonna make a motion.
Wait, I
Right, one more question.
I feel that we should be able to advertise for the hunt and fish, hiking, biking. I think we need to cover all areas, so that's what I feel on that one.
So that's the design of the ad. We can discuss the design of the ad and what
Okay.
you want on there.
Okay.
For an example, in that Colorado Parks National Journal that I just sent you,
Uh-huh.
the ad that you approved for that one,
What page is it on, Marty, do you know?
I don't know, it's a full page ad and it has, I think it says we have your outdoors in our backyard.
Trails in Trinidad, is that ours? Or did they put that in?
Can you put it up?
36, page 36.
I don't have it, I gave it
Oh,
to everybody.
I don't know who put this one. Did you give this one?
So go back one page, yes,
Okay, I see it now.
back one page.
No. Oh, Trinidad Outdoors.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes, so it's a full page ad and it
It's
basically
about
what it
35.
has.
35.
Yes.
And then if you flip
And then
over,
it
it
has-
says Trails in Trinidad on the other side,
Right.
on 36.
I think it's one. Marty, does this just come out once in this,
That's an annual.
an annual?
An annual.
Yes. And that basically advertises all the outdoor recreation that you have to offer.
much is it?
She'd like to see some better graphics.
Yeah, it's just a little dark. It's not, I think it doesn't really show the vibrancy.
Well, you can discuss the design of the ad. I
Okay.
just want the approval for the ad moving forward, so we can
Yeah.
sign an insertion order and then you can design the ad.
I make a motion to approve this ad in US
Second.
Today, Hunt and Fish.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Right?
Aye.
So Don, if you'd like to stop by at any time and sit down and discuss the ad, and then it comes back to the board for approval before it goes in.
Okay.
Maybe we can get with Jared with some of the stuff that he's done.
He did work with me on that ad.
Okay.
Actually,
And
yeah.
and then some of those other little ones that he had done,
Mhm.
maybe if Dawn could see them.
Yep.
Do we have a graphic designer that you work with that does these things?
And so is there a graphic designer, is that what you're asking, that maybe we could work with? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
I
asking?
just wonder if there shouldn't be an RFP for a graphic designer to do all of these so that there's some consistency between the materials that are going out. Because,
There is a line item in your tourism budget that calls for outside contract services.
yeah.
So in the past, and Cy and Camilla know this, there has been graphic designers and ad agencies that have worked with the tourism board before.
I mean, we did, because I have a product, we do a lot of branding, and I've learned a ton over the years and how to do that, and I knew nothing starting it, and, you know, having somebody who gives you really, like, at least, I mean, at a minimum, your consistent text, your consistent font, your consistent colors, and then a style of how your images that you use so that people can see that it's repetitive. So then they start to associate it with one place.
Right.
And I mean, I imagine there might be some good people locally, or I know there's some great people in the state for sure.
Well, so with that statement, I always like to, when somebody makes a statement, to like kind of clear it up before we move on. Does that mean you would like to see us try to find a graphic designer again, and should we talk about that?
Is that a work session? I don't know.
Because that might take a lot of weight off Marty, because Marty's on the last ads is always trying to put it together with other people and showing us different designs.
And it's just,
What do
I
you think,
think it's
Marty?
really complicated to put
Yeah.
together a good ad that looks really good personally. I have no
Uh-huh.
skills in that department. So when it's sometimes it's best to outsource, you know, but I don't know what your process is.
I think if we could find somebody locally first, if not, we look out.
And that would be really good,
What do you
Marty.
think, Chris?
We should
And
pro-
Abe Designs, who actually designed the Trinidad Tourism the Trinidad Outdoor Recreation artwork,
Mhm.
it seems to be a really good graphic designer.
Okay.
He's working with Jared now, and he's doing really good.
Okay.
So if
We
can-
can either go with that since Jared's there, or we could, you know, advertise for,
Well, Mayor, would we need to put an RFP out if we end up using a graphic designer that might get paid more than $10,000 in any 1 year, and take that weight off Marty, because it's a lot of weight on her?
I think
Yeah,
you
you
do.
probably would have to.
Yes.
Yeah. So why don't we move ahead then? What do you think? I don't know, Tom, what do you think? Should we?
Well, if
Here's the thing,
If this is what-
here's
if this
here's
is
the
what
thing
we're
that you
gonna
gotta
do.
remember, anytime that you put out a bid
Mhm.
for whether it's vehicle or services of any kind, somebody could come in at a lower bid, but if you feel that person does not fit the bill, even though it comes in lower, you can always choose someone else.
Mhm.
Keep that in mind.
So it doesn't have to be the amount of money that's gonna
Right,
you
take
go
us
for
there.
best bid, not necessarily low bid.
It's the quality.
exactly.
Okay.
Well, I like what Dawn says, because it seems like there would be a lot of rhythm in our ads then if the same person even we use them. And truly, Marty, I mean, sometimes we're just throwing ads at you left and right, and then sometimes we sit and critique on things, and I'm thinking,
I'm not
why are we
arguing.
critiquing what she's doing? She's not, that's not her skill level, and she's
Not
always.
arguing.
Well, if you get a good graphic
Uh-huh.
designer, you know, any one of us, you know, probably her most of the time,
Uh-huh.
can give a basic idea. You know, this is kind of what we're going, and then they put it into, to keep it consistent into that. I had a great one in Amarillo I used for 20 years. And
And this is the route we're gonna be going down in the future is our ads.
Well, and
And we
there,
want them to be done.
the ads could also then roll into some of the signage.
Right.
Because you can have consistency with whatever, you know, if you're
Right.
using this logo, maybe you do this same logo all in a red zone for all the hiking trails and all in the blue for art scenes or whatever. You know, they can give you like a complete guide on how to do that, and then you can actually give that to other designers and they can use that guide to keep consistency.
Okay.
All your graphic designs are usually owned by you, so you can use them with whomever you decide to design any kind of graphics.
Okay.
Okay. I think that's the way we should go.
So that goes on
It's
a work
a
session.
work
and
session, yeah.
discuss.
So I'll put that on the work session?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
And maybe at the same time, find out if Jared's working with that graphic artist.
He is.
Like his information.
Where's that artist from, you know?
Raton.
And can we see some of
Raton?
his, can
New
we see some of
Mexico?
his stuff to see his aesthetic? Because I think that's really, really important to really choose the aesthetic that feels like it's right for town.
Some of the stuff that he's already done for us.
Mhm.
We could, Marty could have that at our work session. I have a couple pieces of it. So we need to go back to the renewal of the USA Today.
That's been approved.
Oh, okay, I'm
We
sorry.
can move on.
Fox Theater seats.
So in your packet is what I initially provided to the board. The Fox Theater Alliance is doing, it's basically a fundraiser for restoration and items needed for the restoration of the Fox. And so they are selling seats, and basically you can have your plaque placed on the back of these seats. The costs are in the graphic. It has the different colors on it. So there's 4 different costs. Oh no, 3. $1,500, $1,000, and $500. You get 1 inscribed plaque per seat to remain in perpetuity. So there's donor recognition plaque in the lobby as well, and recognition on the Fox Theater website and other outreach materials.
Chris, you want to start on that one?
I'll support whatever y'all want to do. It's not, I mean, it's simply a support thing. It's not, there's not a whole lot of benefit to us except for supporting the Fox.
Supporting the Fox, getting our, yeah.
Well, it's, you know, advertising and promotion, and I think you said about maybe different seats, like maybe buying a collection of 5 seats in a row.
Right.
That just say City of Trinidad Tourism Board, just to show support, just like we do in a magazine.
Right.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That-
It's, yeah.
That's the way I feel. If we throw our support into bringing the Fox to fruition is like us buying 5 seats at $500 a piece, at $2,500 to help them.
Did it say you get something else too, or is it just the recognition?
There's a plaque in the lobby, and then they put it on all their outreach materials.
But you don't get like tickets or anything? Or?
Nope.
Just the recognition.
Well, I think the support of the Fox Theater for the city is really important.
I do
The
too.
city.
I mean,
I do, it's part of tourism,
yeah.
Yeah,
you know, so. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to do 5 seats for the Fox Theater in support of
In
it.
support of the Fox.
At what cost, son?
Was it $500 a seat, did I see?
It's
So
500, 1,000, or 1,500,
A seat? I would do $500
depending on the
a seat.
location.
We'll do 5 seats. Can we do that, Marty? 5 seats
Yeah.
at $2,500? That
So-
represents each
So
board
at the
member
$500
on
level? So if you look at your graphic, you'll notice where your $500 level
there. Yeah,
is.
so like if we
Is
did
those
5
top
seats representing
blue
each
ones?
board
Yeah,
member.
so the blue ones are the 500.
Or the bottom blue
Balcony
ones.
or the bottom.
Or the bottom blue
The
ones.
bottom blue ones or the top blue ones. We could do these right here for
Five in a row
$500
for
for
500.
5 seats.
We'll buy 5 seats.
And you could do, can you pick out the seats you want? Did they say that or no?
Yes.
Okay, you could do I, J, K, L, M on the end row. you could do it on either, or in the middle. 12, 11, that can't be too right. 2, 11, that doesn't make sense.
Going up a row.
Or something like that, you know, you could do that.
Going down the row?
Yeah, like
How about going down the row, Camilla?
you could do I, K, J, 11, 10, 11, 12 in the aisle, so when people are walking down the aisle, they see the back plaque that says
Right,
tourism, if that's what your
Yeah.
goal is.
Yeah.
There you go. Get our name out there.
Well, I don't even
So-
know that it's as important for people seeing our name on it.
Oh,
That's
just
gonna
do it.
happen as it is.
yeah,
Just
You know,
supporting
the-
the Fox.
yeah.
So the IJKLM 11, 10, 11, 11, and 12 in the left-hand aisle? Just so I know I'm putting where I'm putting these.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
I'll second
All in favor, say aye.
it. Aye.
Raton Visitor Guide. Renewal, February the 15th, deadline.
So last year you did a half page for $375. This year the cost has increased. For a half page, it is now $500. I don't have any analytics, so I don't know what.
Well,
It says 20,000 visitors to the Raton Visitor Information Center with distribution across New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, and Arizona, as well as hotels and businesses throughout the Raton area. The guide is also available online.
do you want to make a motion, or do you want to discuss this?
Well, you go first. Would you like, what size of page would you like?
A half page. We are
Yes.
working real close with Raton right now
Yeah.
because of everything going on.
Yeah. I'll make a motion, we do a half page. And
Sounds, second?
when is that due? So we won't have a
February the
design.
15th.
Right away.
Probably not.
I second it, if we're waiting for a second, if anybody else wants to talk.
Something for your information, actually, now that I was coming to the meeting, I was listening to the radio, the Raton station, and they were talking about New Mexico as being, I think, 7th in the nation as recognized for outdoor recreation.
Wow.
So you might want to talk to Eli DeBono, he has that information, but I think that's right. So
Thank you, Mayor.
that would be of some interest.
Yeah, that's huge news for
First
us.
Colorado.
That's
Yeah.
what I was wondering. They gave a lot of statistics in there, so you might want to
Yeah.
check with them and see. But they're high up there in the scale.
Oh, well,
What size page would you like? See?
Half is fine. Yeah.
So I have a motion for a half page. Do I have a second?
I think you
Yeah.
already said that.
yeah, we
Amended it.
second it. Did you, I second it. Or yeah.
Are we, any discussion?
Any discussion?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Just let you know, Montana was first.
Montana was, where was
Really?
Probably-
Where was Colorado?
Probably
They
because
didn't- they didn't say Colorado.
No
Montana,
kidding.
Montana's probably first because of Yellowstone, probably. So,
Boy, that's true.
yeah,
Did you watch the series?
yeah. I want to go back to that, the Fox Theater. Marty, does that come out of the advertising? Where would that come out of?
Outside contract services?
Okay, all right. I just want.
So you're watching that series, Yellowstone?
Well, I did watch it, but it got a little bit too much for me because somebody died every show.
That's what they said.
I like 1883,
Yeah, that's good.
the prequel.
Yeah, I didn't do that one. I'll do that one. So many people died.
Renew Scenic Highway of Legends membership.
Last year you supported Scenic Highway of Legends for $600. It's an annual support membership in the Highway of Legends.
Chris, we'll start with you.
I think it's a good thing. I mean,
Don?
I think it's money well spent. I mean,
the first thing that I looked at when I got up here.
Camille?
Yeah, I have nothing. I think it's okay to move forward with that.
Son? Yeah.
I feel the same way.
Okay.
I make a motion to support them again this year for, I guess, another $600, is that
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
For $600 for the year, 2020, 2022, and it's already January 11th.
Second.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Miscellaneous items of discussion?
It's actually the 12th.
Is what?
12th.
Ouch.
I added that item, I didn't get much response for agenda items, and I just wanted to make sure you all had an opportunity to bring forward anything that you might have not thought of before that you might have thought of
Thanks,
in the
Marty.
meantime.
You know, they want to mention, I'm not sure if any of you have gone up to Cokedale, you know, they have those wayside kiosks. That one kiosk, it looks like it's pretty beat up.
Yeah.
They just replaced those. How long has it been since you've been there?
It was, the last time I was up there was in November, but it looked pretty ratty to me.
They just put 3 new panels up, probably, and that was this summer.
Okay, so you might want to check that out.
Doug Holdred actually did the painting on those. They're really nice.
You
Take
might
a
wanna
look
check
at them
that out.
again.
You know, people, you never know what they do.
I'm not kidding, they haven't been there 4 months. There's also the same type kiosk in North Lake. Did you see that one? Right there at the boating, that one there. There's 3 of them going east of town. They're nice kiosks.
One thing I want to
Drive
mention to you, and this, not really about tourism, but last week, we had the legislative roundtable, and I don't know if it's still rotating on Channel 71, but it's also on YouTube. And it was, unfortunately, right at the beginning, we got Zoom bombed, so it was quite a fiasco to try to get everybody back online. But we had a pretty good discussion, just to let you know. It's going to take, it's about 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, I only watched part of it, Mayor. I didn't get to watch all of it. What do you think was the most important information that was derived from there? Was there any highlight that no one?
I think the highlight was the criminal justice portion of it,
Uh-huh.
and the opioid issue, the opioid discussion coming from both the 1215 and the opioid money. I do know that with that opioid discussion, there was some, I forget which pharmaceutical company is challenging, so there may not be any money coming till like 2023 or 2024, I'm not sure. But there's one pharmaceutical company that is challenging the ruling on that.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it was supposed to start this year, but we'll see what happens.
One of the things I'd like to see, maybe, I don't know if this is possible, but you were gone a couple times this last year, or a few times this last year, Marty, and a couple times we were kind of messed up, but maybe Jeff can kind of help you out. Maybe if you're gonna be out, maybe he could come in. We've never really worked with Jeff,
If I'm out, he needs to be at the Welcome Center.
Yeah.
There's
so,
only 2 of us. So if I'm not there, he needs to be there. So, and if I'm not here, that means I'm probably not around. So he
Yeah.
can't leave the Welcome Center to come here.
because a couple times, I think we didn't, they couldn't find some of the stuff downstairs. And
Like,
I can't remember what meeting it was, but we didn't have, and then they finally found the packets, but we had to hunt them down for one of the meetings.
huh,
So,
Okay.
I know you normally give them to Audra. And
The
I don't know if-
packets?
Yeah,
I've never given the packets to Audra. I usually, if you're going in to pick up a packet at the Welcome Center, it's on Jeff's desk.
no, but for here, when we had a meeting, we didn't have them for us that day.
Oh, okay. So do you,
I mean, I think Audra wasn't here that day, so they couldn't find them. So just so that we have our stuff, that's why I mentioned,
Okay.
you know, if,
But that's a good point on Jeff, though. We don't really, we pay for Jeff. We really never see him or talk to him. Is he happy with his job, or is everything
far as I know,
fine? Okay.
we did have a discussion just recently and he seems to be content. He did apply for a job with the Parks and Rec Department. There was a job opening and he just felt it would be better for him because he's so much more interested in outdoor recreation and basketball and all that kind of stuff. So he did apply for it, but he said he wasn't applying for it because he was unhappy with his job. It was only that he got excited that there was something that's more in his, that he likes to do.
And of your volunteers after Jeff, the rest are volunteers, is there somebody that like steps up to the plate and does more there than somebody else? I mean, I know they all work hard, I hate to
Not really, they all have a 1-hour shift once a week, which is a 3-hour, they have a 3-hour shift once a week.
Okay.
That's it. Next meeting, January 26, 2022,
What
work
time?
session.
9.
At night.
They're all at
Okay.
night.
Okay, I can remember what day it was, so
10:14.
at least remember that day. Gee.
Okay,
Hey,
We
we're
whizzed through
doing
that.
good.
You guys are done?
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm shocked.
we're usually about 11
yeah.
gone. We're usually about 11.